Hey, good morning, people. It is morning, Facebook family. It's Tuesday morning, and I just wanted to get on here for a few minutes just to give, some words of encouragement. Y'all know how I do when I get on here, but second week in February. Yeah. So excited about a whole bunch of things. Glad to be alive. It's a little bit chilly. Okay, we're going to say downright cold here in North Carolina, but just glad to have the opportunity to share with folks. And you know me, I'm not one of those who are like, oh, I'm going to wait for people to get on here. Y'all going to get on when y'all get on, and y'all see it when you see it. But I'm excited because so we got, a new grandchild that's coming that will be here sometime before Sunday. So we're excited about that. Our first boy, my first prince and in my legacy. Love my little Karen kingdom that we got going on with my babies. So, I've had the opportunity to love on my diva princesses for quite some time. And now we got a boy that we add into the mix, and, heaven help us all. So my boys are excited. They are just happy that we got another boy coming into this mix with all of these girls, but I'm excited because we get our little prince to come in. But with all of that, I wanted to just share today, a lot of times we see people around us and maybe they're going through depression or just having what we say a bad day. But one bad day sometimes can turn into another bad day if we don't kind of think about the ways to change our mind. And so 2017 was really a big year for me to kind of change my mind and my thinking about a lot of things, change my mind about being by myself, because I haven't been by myself in 30 years. So almost. And so it's one of those things where it was like, all right, I'm going to take on this venture and do this new thing. And I usually try to share with you all kind of my chronicles of being here in North Carolina and the different things. I just want to say somebody lied to me because it's cold down here. Yeah. So we got on our line fleece stockings and all of the things that need to go on with that. And normally I'm not on here early in the morning because y'all know good and well I'm not the morning person, but wanted to share. And the thing that I wanted to share in a conversation with a friend of mine, I was talking about the plans that I thought, well, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And there were a lot of things that in my thinking, it was like, well, I need to wait for this to happen and I need to wait for that to happen. And then it really came to I came to the revelation of I wasn't really waiting on anybody, because when I look at past successes that I've experienced in my life, they didn't come from me waiting on other people. It was like, oh, what? This the thing they need to get done? Excuse me. We're going to get it done. And so, I didn't always start out being so task oriented, but I know that that's where I am and who I am right now. It's sort of like, what's the task that's in front of me? And then we go for it. And sometimes I might tend to run people over because it's like, oh, destination right there. Let me keep on going. And so with that, moved here to North Carolina. It was like, all right, I'm waiting for this to happen, waiting for that to happen. And then the revelation that I came to was really that I wasn't waiting on anyone but myself. I was waiting on me, but I had to come to the realization that it wasn't that I needed to depend on anybody. It's not like, whoa, woman, hear me roar. I believe in team and team building, and that's something that I do, whether it's at work, whether it's in community, all the places that I'm in. It's like, okay, who's the team? Who are the team players? And how can we build them up to empower them to do what they need to do? But then I forgot sometimes to empower myself. And a lot of times it'll be like, okay, feeling down, let me pick up the phone. Let me, get FaceTime with one of my friends, so that we could have that love time and get that. Because it's nothing like that ammunition that you get after you spend time with people who love you, after you spend time with people who care about you. But with all of that, it was like, okay, so what are the things that I wanted to do? And so last year I focused on some things, I want to get my money right. Help with that after the move, want to get my credit right, want to do some things. I already own a home. So I know the steps that I took to get there, and they were very strategic, and I needed to kind of I couldn't just go and say, okay, I'm going to buy a house today. Had to plan for it. I had to learn what the process was. I had to figure out how much money did I need, what my credit score needed to be, how to get a loan, who to talk to, how to get the house inspected. What are the things that need to go on along with that? And at the time, it was a couple of years for when I did it, but that was 2009, 9 years ago. that I purchased a home in Pennsylvania, and so that's our home. That's where it all started. And I always say that's my first house. That's my first house, because it's gonna be many more, and I'm excited about the thought that I'm able to do that, because I've got that entrepreneurial spirit. And sometimes it's a challenge for me because I am an introvert. I don't mind doing these Facebook lives. I don't mind being in front of crowds, but look, that take a lot out of me. Then I gotta go somewhere and sit down. It's also a huge part of me mothering my children, because not one of them are introverts, not one. However, when it comes to what it is I need to do, it's like, okay, we got to get in there and get it done. And with them, it's like, all right, mommy gonna do it. Go ahead, go ahead and get with it. The thing that I found is that once I moved out the way, they were able to learn for themselves what they needed to do. And then I had to retrain my own thinking, because I've been mommy to them for so long. It's almost like I tell them, don't give me all the details, because if I had the details, then I'm going to try to figure it out for them. It's like, what? You don't have what? Oh, let me send that to you. And so I'm not supposed to be their savior in any way. And I know a lot of times we've got people in our lives who we are there in that particular way, especially all of us who are mommies. Yes, Teresa, saw your post this morning, 1,000 curveballs that come at us when we are mommies, and it's so much that happens. And I see my number 4 child, number 3 son, Joe on here. Lord, just thinking about the parenting experience with him, all I can say for you with younger children, you will survive. How do I know? Because I got one married off and he did not die. Okay, so mix that in with the side eye. But getting back to the fact of not waiting for somebody, making sure that you look for ways to create opportunities for yourself. Why? Because it's important. I've trained my children in so many different ways. I took them to church. I put them in front of actors and doctors and lawyers, and let them know that these things were not just aspirational, but these were things that if they wanted to do it, they could do it as well. And I remember having a conversation with Joshua, who he is never on here. I don't think he watched any of my lives. But I remember saying to him, you all are going to be great, and you're going to do this and you're going to do that. And the challenge was, he had an answer for me. He was like, well, Mom, while you was doing all of this stuff, you are already great. Like, you already doing stuff that you were just trying to teach us how to do. And that was a real revelation for me, because I was so busy in my mind of what's the goal, that I didn't realize, even in my teaching method, I had to learn how to exude greatness. It was a thing. It's like, oh no, we're not going to be going out of the house looking any old kind of way. You're not going to talk to people any way that you want to. There is a standard. There are things that are set, and you will follow them. And it was hard for them. It was hard for me too, because when you set standards for your children, it's their job. I know parents, y'all going to be like, what did she just say? It is their job to go against what you say. I'm going to let that marinate for a minute. They're kids. We did the same thing to our parents. We tested the boundaries. And guess what? In life, usually testing those boundaries is what makes things greater. But we got to allow them a safe space to be able to do that. We got to breathe sometime. My kids always say that my youngest son, Lamont, got away with more stuff than anybody else. Well, I was tired. Okay. It was 5 of them, but he also learned something way different than the rest of them. He would sit down and watch them get in trouble. Yeah, I'm telling the secret. He would watch them get in trouble. And then what they would do was say, Mommy is always giving Lamont, we call him Jugger, giving Jug something else, and she won't give it to us. So then they would go in there and then they tell him, go ask Mommy for the cookies, because she not going to tell you no. Go ahead. Well, what? And Alicia, parenting kids, it is something else. Well, Lamont would come in and he would give me a hug, and he'd be like, hi, Ma, and he lay on me. He buttered me up. I call him the mayor because he know how to smooth now that he's grown and whatnot. But he get into my soft spot and, let me know that I was important to him before. Like the rest of them, they just come in. Ma, can we have some popcorn? Ma, he would spend time with me and then be like, hey, Ma, can I have something? And that boy could get it every time. Why? Because he spent the time with me. Now, that's a secret for me. Maybe that's not the secret for you, for your kids. But no, it is their job to test everything that you tell them. And if they're not testing in front of your face, then you better be CSI and start following them, because they're going to test it out somewhere, whether it's at school, at home, somewhere. It is a part of us being human and being a part of society that we just want to have some type of acknowledgement. And on the acknowledgement, it was like one of my sisters said to me, and it was a devotional talking about we should not be looking for validation from other people. And sometimes we look for validation from our jobs. We look for validation from our peers. We look for validation from our family. And a lot of times we miss the mark. And then we get upset because they can't be for us what we think they're supposed to be for us. And a lot of times that happens even when we are not even saying to them, hey, I need you to say a particular thing to me. So I'm going to tell you about a dating experience, and I hope I don't get in trouble for this because, some of these people I'm still friends with. But I remember I used to argue with one ex-boyfriend, and I would argue. And he'd be like, okay, I'm just going to go. And he would leave. And then that would make me more mad. And I would want to argue more. I've grown up a little bit. It's a little bit better. But in that argument, what I said to him was, it is you. When you see me getting upset, what I need you to do for me is literally cause me to look at you. Because if I'm yelling at you, I could yell at you like you the dude up the street, or you the kid who stole my peanut butter and jelly sandwich out of my Wonder Woman lunchbox 30, 40 years ago. But if I'm looking at you in your eyes, I have to acknowledge you. And so that's a lesson that we taught our children. We've been taught, when you talk to somebody, look them in their eyes. Why? Because you get to see who they are. And then you have to acknowledge the being that you're communicating with. And so that's important in all aspects of our lives. But look, the most time that it's important, we forget to do that for ourselves. So my exercise that I'm sharing with you all, get in the mirror and talk to yourself. I know it sounds crazy. Look, people done already called you crazy. So this one thing will not change people's minds about you. But I shared a post the other day about the women in my life who call me out of my name. And, the first thing when we hear, oh, somebody called me out of my name, you thinking they called me, some 4 or 5 letter words. And some of the words were 4 or 5 letters. But, it's one thing when you are always pouring into other people and you forget to pour into yourself, that you surround yourself with sisters and brothers who will support you in ways to remind you and call you queen. They call you beautiful. They call you strong. They call you independent. They call you successful. They call you an overcomer. These are things that you might know about yourself, but you don't pinpoint on because you're so busy, taking care of the kids. You're so busy taking care of your parents. You're so busy taking care of finances and trying to figure out how you're going to get this dress to fit one more week, and you're so busy trying to run away from that 5 pounds that you lost last month. And it's like, Lord, I need that not to come back. But in our busyness, we've got to get in the mirror and talk to ourselves. We got to figure out what are the things, and a lot of times when we are mommy, when we've got positions, I'm mommy, I'm director. I've been like sitting on boards and working with volunteer and community and so many different things. And the one thing that I realized in all of that is that there are a lot of times that I disqualified myself, and I would say I wasn't good enough, or well, Lord, if they knew this about me, they'd be like, psh, that chick done lost her mind. Well, guess what? I did lose myself a lot of times, but it wasn't in a bad way. I lost myself to find myself. And so a lot of us, we got to figure out what that thing is, and own it. Sometimes we make mistakes. I'm not always nice to people. Fruits of the spirit, gentleness, kindness, pray for me, y'all. I'm not always that. And sometimes it's because I've learned that with me being a mother of 5, I used to say to people, I'm mother of 5. I'm not this, I'm not that. But I literally in my household was running a government, was Karen's kingdom, telling you, queen, woo. But I had to figure out where they were going, what they were doing, what activities, how much money it was going to be, where this money was coming from, because it wasn't always in my pocket. And then we had to get creative. Okay, well, who's getting a ride over here? You got football, you got choir, you got what? Okay. And so all of the skills that I brought together as being their mommy, and I disqualified myself in my mind, I find that I use them every single day. I can't treat Lamont the same way that I treat Danielle. I don't treat Joe the same way that I treat Ray. And Josh, well, he's in the middle. Moment of silence for Josh. I can't treat him any old kind of way, because he like literally a little bit of them and a little bit of them. And it's so amazing. But in dealing with each of their personalities, what I found was I could not treat them the same. And so when I go on my job, I can't treat everybody that I work with the same. Literally on my new job, I have only one person who is a Facebook friend. Why? Because I don't really know all of them, and y'all know how I feel about new friends. I'm trying. But they need to get to know me so that they understand what are my rough edges. You know, what are the areas that I'm kind of, you know, a lot of you have known me for over 30, 40 years, some maybe 5 or 10 years. And you understand that there are times where Karen gets into her craziness. But then there are other times when I'm solid. And you know that if I say that I'm going to do a thing, I'm going to do that thing. So I bless the Lord for giving me that tenacity and that integrity that I do what I say I'm going to do. But I am also slow for what I say I'm going to do. Because it's like, oh, I need you to come up. Okay, hold up. I got questions. When I come over there, what I'm going to do? Am I the only one doing it, or we got a team of people doing it? How long you want my time when I get there? And is this going to cost me some money? I've learned. That's all I can say. This is wisdom. I was watching a Facebook, you know, we got all these videos, and the pastor the title was, "Are you marriage material?" And he said, if no is your favorite word, you may or may not be marriage material. Now look, the Lord is working on me, because I desire a husband. But I do like saying no. I like saying no. I like saying no. I like saying no, not because I'm mean, although my kids would say that. I like saying no, or not yet, or give me a minute, or not now, because it empowers me. It reminds me to not just have a ready yes for every question, for every request. And then I get to have just a little bit more control of what it is that I'm doing. You know, a little bit more consciousness about what things I'm able to do. Mommies, I say this to you, and daddies too. Love yourself. Because as your kids see you loving you, they really get to learn about themselves. They get to learn how to love themselves. They also get to learn how to not allow people to trample over what it is that their dreams are. Now, I'm going to put this little plug for those folks who are like in the Jersey, PA area. I know in 2 weeks, we're going to be having, with my Fierce Divas Praise Sister Friend Empowerment Circle, we are having a Dream Speak vision board party. And so I'll probably be on here talking a little bit about that, because I created a vision board probably like, I don't know, 5 years ago. I'm walking in a lot of those things now. There's still things that I'm working on, but I also created I wrote down a plan, like literally a vision. And at the time I called it like a wish list, because it was like, dear God, here are the impossible things that I would like for you to do. I would like to own a car without another co-signer. And I did that probably, oh my goodness, like 11, 12 years ago. And there are things that were on that list that have already come to fruition. My car, my home, my kids graduating, like all of those things were on there. You know, even some of the health things that myself and my family has experienced have been on there. And some of the things, it was things that maybe folks would say, well, this is positive, and other things was negative, but God didn't not come through on any one thing that I asked him for. And so, you know, even as the scriptures say, those people who were healed, it said, be unto you according to your faith. Believe in some things, but first believe in you. So when you get in the mirror, here's what you tell yourself. You tell yourself, I'm great. I'm awesome. I am fearfully and wonderfully made. I am put here for a purpose. My purpose right now may not be manifested before me, but I believe that every step that I take, I will put myself closer to it. I am empowering people around me by my life experiences. The people who know me and see me are able to benefit from my struggle. How many of you know, I know me, I don't want to do nothing hard. Who, what, assembly required. Take that thing back to the store. I need it. Look, I got counter stools for my counter in my whatever kitchen. All the chairs that I went to go see, they were like assembly required. I left them things right there. And I knew for sure that it was a chair that was already assembled. When I tell you I have foldable bar stools, look, I ain't playing. I wasn't putting it together. I didn't want to pay the extra for, the like super fancy ones. I ain't paying no $200 for somebody's bum to sit in the chair. I can't do it. But I went and got them things, and they was folded up, so I put them in the back seat of my car, and I brought them to my house, and one by one. And my father was like, "Why are you buying one chair?" Because the way my budget is set up, I can't buy all four of them at the same time. But I knew the chairs that I wanted, so I went back one by one, and I got them, and I got one more chair to get. So we're gonna go get that chair probably in like 2 weeks. Anyway, you got to do what you can do, and don't feel guilty about the things that you cannot do. Know this. My kids would always be like, "Well, Ma, how come you don't buy this for me? How come you?" Because I say I love you. Why? It's cheaper. I'm here with you. I'm giving you the best part of me. And this is the way that we got to feel about our jobs. We got to feel about our communities. We got to feel about everywhere I show up. Look, the one thing that I had to get used to when I moved here to North Carolina, when I walk in the room, and there's certain people I say, it's your fault. When I walk into a room in Jersey or PA, people respond. "Hey, Karen is here. Boss Lady Sims, what's good?" I come here and they be like, "Who is that?" And then I got to be the one, "Hey, Karen's here." Because if I'm not excited about my entry into a room and understanding that I'm not the thermometer of, I go up and down because of other people, but I stay high because I am the thermostat. When I walk into a room, that entire situation just changed. Why? Because I showed up. And it's not about being conceited. It's about being humble, because there are so many different things that we understand that if pride gets in the way, or it's like, "Oh, I'm all of this. Oh, y'all not treating me like that." I admit I go through those things. But then I get humble because I understand this. If I'm invisible for a season, there's a reason. And so I hope that blesses somebody today. If you are invisible for a season, know that there's a reason, that God is protecting you. He's allowing your character to grow. Because if Facebook Live was here 15 years ago, y'all already know. Not even just for me, but for you. You already know it'd be all kinds of shenanigans going on. Maribel, I ain't even do a side eye this morning. Love you, girl. It's a wonderful thing when we understand what destiny is. And I'm excited because I see things going on, and it's like, wow. I knew that these things were going to happen, or these are the things that I wrote down, and now I'm closer than I was before. And so as we think about purchasing a home, you can't just go out and be like, well, maybe some of you can, but for the normal person, purchasing a home is a process. You got to go and when I purchased my home, I had to figure out, so what is this home buying experience about? What do I need to do? Oh, I need to clean up my credit. Okay. Oh, so I went from I want to purchase a home, and then we broke down the steps. Okay. If I need to purchase a home, I got to get my credit right. To get my credit right, I got to get my bills paid. To get my bills paid, I need to get a better job or figure out residual income. And then that means that, oh, wait, I'm waiting on me. Why? Because I got to get my resume together so I could get a better job, so I could get a higher income, so I could pay my bills, so that I could improve my credit to buy my house. You see how that went backwards and forwards, and it all came back to starting with you. So it starts with you today. Whatever you do during your day, be encouraged that I know if you are my friends list, I at least like you. Because ain't nobody on here that I can't stand, because I got too many things to pray for. I can't be distracted by people that the Lord has not fully opened my heart up to love. That was good. I know he working on me, y'all. Oh my goodness, he working on me. And that means he's working on you too. So be excited about what the day is going to bring. Be excited about what God is doing for you. Look, some of us each year, we set goals. Maybe last year your goal was a physical goal. Maybe this year your goal is a health goal. Maybe next year your goal is a finance goal. I got a goal. I must get to Morocco. I don't know why. So Morocco, Italy, and Greece. Now, I'll just put them all out there, all three of them. Morocco, Italy, and Greece. Those are the countries that I have this pull that it's like, Lord, I want to be there and I want to experience it. But in that travel time, till I could get to all those places, we'll hit San Francisco, we'll hit Maryland, we'll hit, we've already hit Texas, but we're going to see. We'll hit Georgia, wherever the Lord is sending. But I just wanted to get on and encourage somebody. So many things that we see in the world every day. We got to be good to ourselves first, because being good to you causes other people to take on the habit of also being good to you too. So if they see you not taking care of yourself, well, they're not going to try to take care of you either. But if they see that you're putting yourself as priority, if they see that you're loving yourself, loving God, loving people, and trying to give back to the community, you never know. Those who are waiting for Boaz will find them, and those husbands and wives will come together in a stronger way. I got to get to work though. Y'all know I'm all dressed and ready early. I'm usually still, what time is it? What time is it? Yeah, I'm usually still, I'm just getting up normally, but the joy of the Lord is my salvation. I'm happy for another day. I'm excited about just kind of the peak that I got to get in my own life. Like, that's crazy. Write some things down. You'll hear some more about the Dream Speak vision board party. I know that creating a vision board changed my life, and for those that have done it, it's definitely been an impactful way to remind ourselves of those things, what things that we are desiring, what things we're praying for, what things we're believing God for. And even as I said before, be it unto you according to your faith. There's a prayer that I pray because I remember it in the Bible, and I don't even know what scripture it is. Sorry. Y'all take my Bible card later. But I prayed a prayer, and it says, Lord, I believe, help my unbelief. Because there are some things that we are hindered in our lives because we don't believe it about ourselves. So tell your secret to somebody you trust, and then tell them, I need you to tell that thing back to me. So when I see Minister Maribel, I know that it's coming. Why? Because I've seen her do it. When I see so many of you doing things, it's like, yep, that was it. Allow people to speak to you. Be careful, but allow the right people to speak into you and remind you of not just who you are today, but who God says that you are. What is your purpose in this earth? My purpose in this earth is to midwife some people with their dreams, to be a midwife to people concerning their dreams. It is to push people in a professional way and empower them to be better in a professional life. Now, while I'm doing that, I'm learning how to do it more and more myself each day. But I'm excited. I hope you're excited as well. You all have a good day. Know this: yesterday wasn't the end. How do you know? Because you're still breathing today. So you get another chance. You get another chance to be great, to do great things. And don't shrink yourself. But that's another lie. Do not shrink yourself. I mean, you can shrink yourself, in the waist, in the face and whatnot, but don't shrink yourself to a point where you disqualify the gifting that God has placed inside you. The world is waiting for us. The world is waiting for us. They're not waiting for the next Oprah. They're not waiting for the next Tyler. They're waiting for us. So let's get busy and do what we need to do. Love you all. Be encouraged. Love you, Teresa. Have a great day. Hug that tall one you got there. I know what it is to raise a tall boy. Ooh, but they be the sweetest when they bend down and hug you from the skyscrapers where they at. Y'all have an awesome day.